Hey, welcome everybody to the Desert Classic. Coachella Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority is bringing to you exciting action. Alex Negron, Conrad Negron out here all weekend. Everybody stay tuned. Got a ton of pictures, ton of stuff happening. Check it out. Field of Dreams production brought to you by Coachella Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority. I'm Conrad Negron with Michael Carls. Today we're talking golf. Welcome, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well, Conrad.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Everything.
I mean, can you believe it's already January 16th?
Yeah.
Oh, today's my dad's birthday.
Oh, beautiful.
My dad's birthday. Happy
Shout out,
birthday, Dad. We miss you. I can't believe you're not here. We're going to talk about golf. You know, Coachella Sports and Entertainment is out there. We've got media credentials for the first time, the fastest growing sports and entertainment bureau in the world.
Big J journalists. We're doing it.
County or world? World. I'm going with
Let's
world.
go world.
Let's go world because we're worldwide. The Bob Hope Desert Classic. Let's take a little short look back. Michael, what do you remember about Bob Hope?
I know that he's a guy. I know that for sure. I know he has a street somewhere around here.
He does. He has a big street.
Yep. I know he's famous in some way, shape, or form, but I know you're going to inform me right now.
I'm going to inform you right now. Let me tell you about Bob Hope. Bob Hope, I went on his Wikipedia page. It just goes on for days. I mean, references and all the stuff. You can look up anybody. You can look up Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson. I mean, those guys, nothing like Bob Hope. Bob Hope was the first guy that went into the war zone and entertained the troops. Mm-hmm. And that was legendary. But then, he started his golf because he was a legend. He was a golfer. He was the Hollywood jokester with all the presidents, making fun of everybody. So when was the first time you were? Because you're a 20-something.
Yep, 26. Yeah, okay. I'm just a youngster. So what I remember of the Bob Hope Classic, I mean, just growing up around the Valley, it was always a big time for just kids just because we were like, oh, well, this is like really the only time we get to see like our favorite athletes, right? Because they
celebrities.
Right, and celebrities also. I mean, being a sports kid, that was my thing. But so going there and being able to see them face to face and sometimes even get an autograph, I have a story of trying to get Michael Jordan and Roger Clemens autographs in the same day.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
I'll tell you what, not too well.
Not too well.
Not too well. Not too well. They were a little too busy for young Mike back then. Yeah. But they get it 1,000 times a day, and it's. Being a celebrity and having to do that whole thing. But when you're out here in the Valley, we don't get to see that very often. So it is nice to have a spectacle of celebrities and athletes around.
Well, I remember, going back a while, I mean, Indian Wells was a host club, and they started with Tamarisk, and then they gradually moved out to PGA. Mm-hmm. But I met Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
They were chasing him.
Yep, LT.
That guy's a big guy.
Yeah,
that guy was a big guy.
You were chasing him?
No. He was following me.
He chased a lot of guys back in his day for sure.
Well, again, Joe Pesci, Jackie Gleason. Yeah. I mean, then Arnold Palmer, the legend Arnold Palmer. I remember Arnold Palmer one time. We were following him, and he goes under the ropes to get a drink. From the drinking fountain. Mm-hmm. None of the pros ever do that. They don't go
right.
And he goes over and these ladies are talking to him. Oh, I'm from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. And he's just talking to him like, we're friends.
Right.
I've known you forever.
Right.
Then Arnold crosses down to go to, they have the same parties on the same holes every year. And they had a mannequin, low-cut dress on the mannequin.
Sure.
And, Arnold's giving her a big hug.
Right,
and then
right.
crosses over the wall and tells, can anybody get me some orange juice? I mean, Arnold Palmer's in the house,
right.
And then he hops back over the wall to go play his shot. Mm-hmm. And that was the fun of the interaction of the players and the celebrities. I remember one time I met Samuel Jackson's ball was at this party, same place. I think it was 6 or 7 at Indian Wells, and Samuel Jackson's down there. I go, hey Samuel, it's like I've never seen so many cute young white girls chasing you. And he says, no, they're chasing that guy Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, right.
And Justin Timberlake came out here and played when he was young in his career.
Avid golfer, too.
Yeah, avid golfer. So Do you play golf?
I do.
You do?
Oh yeah. I am. I mean, since having my knee surgery, I haven't been able to play too much. But when I was at my top, I mean, I'm 12, 15, somewhere in that range.
You know, Michael, the average golfer, if you can break 100, you're considered pretty good.
I heard some stat. Okay, now I don't know if this is true or not, but it's like 90% or like 80% of the world can't stay under 100 consistently.
No.
So I mean, I feel pretty amazing.
Well, you know,
doing that.
golf is so hard. I mean, I played baseball and the ball was moving. The ball's not moving in golf.
Right.
And it's still so difficult.
Well, to me, the top 3 hardest things to do in sports: hit a baseball, play quarterback, hit a golf ball. Those are the top hardest.
We got all
things.
3 covered here today on the Sport Report.
Right.
Conrad Nagrod for Michael Carls. Unbelievable. We got the tournament's really kind of starting tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow. They got the amateurs out there. And I think they got a few celebrities coming in. I don't know any big ones besides you.
Right. Well, I mean, not to brag, but we were getting our credentials yesterday, and there was a gentleman from the Real Housewives in there, and I mean, I sized him up. I mean, I look pretty good too. Get me a spot on the show. Like, come on now. Like,
you got a Hollywood career, Michael. I mean, I'll tell you, if this football doesn't work out,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
You might be the next. What's that? Next Bachelor.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Me and Jesse Palmer.
Well, you know, The Bachelor's the funniest thing in the world. You got a guy dating 12 girls, and all women hate guys who date multiple women.
Right.
So it makes no sense. But that's getting off the golf subject. Yeah. We were out at PGA yesterday. They keep the fairways green and the out of bounds, not out of bounds, but off the fairway,
like the rough
brown
area.
rough.
Yep, I love that. The
like it.
optics on that are beautiful when you're actually like looking at it. Yeah, I love that.
And it's like it separates, like, okay, I'm aiming for the green,
right,
as opposed to aiming for there's water out there. I've played that course before.
Oh yeah.
If you remember, you go back way before you were born, when they had the Skins game, which was that was November, Thanksgiving. And then, of course, the Bob Hope would come in January. But they had the Skins, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, and Tom Watson going at it.
Right.
And Lee Trevino hit a hole-in-one on 17 at the legendary it's a stadium course, right? Yeah.
Actually, I've seen that video. That video is around the internet. I've seen that before. It is amazing. I've played that. Not to brag either, I played that course too out in the summertime. Hello, Golf Now, $40. Thank you very much. But I've lost at least 2 sleeves of golf balls on that hole. You try to not think about the water at all,
but you do.
But good grief, it's so hard.
And it's not that the green's not that big, and they'll be playing that this weekend. So everybody, tune in. We're going to be following it. We're going to be out there. Michael's going to be taking pictures, following some of the guys. Alex and I will be out there doing some reporting. We're going to go try to talk to some of the PGA, like the what do they call it, the health center, where you need some stretching and stuff like that. The PGA is amazing what they do for their players.
Right.
I mean, they have eating food. It's just amazing, this desert. I hope it doesn't rain.
Right. No, yeah, I hope the weather does hold up. This will actually be my first PGA tournament I've been to, so I'm kind of curious to see, one, what all the hubbub is about PGA tournaments, and two, being from a younger generation, there's been more of a it's almost that golf has been too tight for young people to get into, right? So like when I look at the Waste Management Open or other tournaments like that, where the PGA lets their hair down a little bit and lets these golfers have more fun and lets the fans interact more, I'm curious to see if we can have that sort of environment there.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because you're talking about the Waste Management in Phoenix, where they got, I think it's 20,000 people. I think it's 16, or something like that. And I've talked to different guys that have been there. Jake Sheffield was from Arizona State. He said he'd go there. 20,000 people at one hole.
Right.
Going nuts.
Yeah, and that's like the one hole that they're allowed to cheer and do that whole thing. Another great video of Tiger at that hole, I'm pretty sure he hit a hole-in-one on that one too, where the crowd's going nuts, and he's walking down there to go pick up his ball and just fist pump it, and everybody's having a good time. That's what it should be about. We should be having fun. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? It's interesting you say that, because I've been joking for years now. I've been at the Bob Hope many times, and sometimes like you and I are talking like this, and they look at you like, shut up.
Right.
So, go to a basketball game or a football game or a baseball game. I mean,
right?
Can't you play when everybody's yelling? And it's like, I almost say, like, put a shot clock on the golfers.
Right. Sure.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, a shot clock.
Right.
They do have something like, all right, you're on the clock, Carls. You got to move, keep it going, but they don't penalize you. But it was funny last year, John Rahm, who we'll talk about in a second, defending champion of the Desert Classic.
Right.
He went to Arizona State. He's from Spain, Viva España, and he was there this last year at the Phoenix. He put his Arizona State shirt on, and he was telling everybody while he's going to hit to just give me the noise.
Yeah, he was wearing a Pat Tillman jersey, I think.
That's right, Pat Tillman jersey, and he was telling the crowd, "Don't be quiet. Let's get."
Yeah,
and they can hit the ball when the crowd's yelling.
Oh yeah,
they're too good.
Well, so like that's what I think about. It's not necessarily like people making noise and it being a distraction and whatnot, like, because those guys can white noise, they can play while it's white noise, no problem. But it's the guys that like to be funny and want to be the very first person to talk right as soon as he hits the ball. Like, we don't need that type of stuff.
No.
Be courteous to the golfers. You can have fun within reason, and I think we need to find that fine line with the game of golf.
Well, it's interesting you say that when you talk about, the younger generation, where sometimes, I mean, I've even said it, golf is so stiff and, and rigid.
Sure.
They wear some ugly pants back though, and Bob Hope was around. They wore some ugly clothes.
Oh yeah.
What was those triple net? What, knits or something? I forgot what they were calling.
Knickers, maybe?
No, not knickers.
That's way back in the day.
Knickers was cool. Payne Stewart, brought knickers back in. But he was so good and so good looking, he could pull it off.
Right.
I don't know if you or I could pull it off. Maybe you could. I couldn't come up with knickers, but no, they were wearing those. Now I can't remember the material. It was a trip. Oh gosh, now I can't remember. But it was ugly. It was really ugly. And I think John Daly graduated a couple years ago to wearing, those ugly pants.
Well, so like his turn from wearing plaid dress pants to now they're almost like long bathing suits, almost like bathing suit bottom pants that he wears. It's incredible, and he's got matching ones every time he plays in that father-son tournament with his son. It's incredible.
John Daly. I actually met John Daly. I think he was in the second year of his. I met him in the locker room at Indian Wells. Just a young guy, just kind of not knowing which way do I go, and he was asking the guy, how do I get my shoes cleaned? And, it's so progressed. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to we're going to pick some players.
Yeah, see what this field's talking about.
Let's see what the field is talking about. There's a couple guys here. Phil Mickelson's in town. Justin Rose is in town. Conrad Negron from Michael Carls. Everybody stay tuned. We got some great stuff going to come on. All right, Sport Report out here at Joyride Palm Springs. Christopher Cheek, wow, we just had a great ride of the valley.
No problem.
What's happening?
Not much. Taking people up to Big Bear, so you guys could go up to Big Bear, get you there in like 15 minutes, zip line for 2 to 3 hours, have lunch at the Peppercorn, bring you back home within 12 minutes. Another fun adventure is we'll take you out to Lake Paris, and you can try your thing at skydiving. We land the same place that Tom Cruise learned how to parachute. We'll land you there. You do parachuting for the day. We've been taking a lot of people up to the winery, land them in the parking lot Temecula, spend a day at the winery, then we'll come back and pick you up VIP. So our next big adventure that we're working on is a landing pad out at Joshua Tree. So right next to Joshua Tree, about 100 yards away from the gate, we'll land a helicopter for you and your guests. We just brought a brand new Mercedes Sprinter van, holds 12 people. We'll take you for a tour of the park. have lunch maybe at Pappy and Harriet's. Back here, back on the casinos, gambling, shopping, whatever you want to do.
We can joyride all over. Welcome back to the Sport Report. Conrad Negron, Michael Carls, another Shield of Dreams production brought to you by Coachella Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority. Michael, let's I got to get ready here as we talk. I got to get ready.
You're looking for that glove for like 5 minutes. Didn't even know where it was.
Get this. I lost my glove, and look at I'm ready. Look at that. If the glove fits, you must let him play.
Oh, jeez.
got my putter right here, white hot.
I love it.
I'm ready to crush you like a tin can.
I like it. Let's go.
Well, let's talk about golf. I mean, golf is, you're gripping. You kind of interlock grip sometimes. Some people, you'll grip it like this, and some people grip it, way in here, a little too tight. Mm-hmm. And I was watching Bernhard Langer, age 60, yesterday. And he was in the gym. He had a ball like this, and he would throw it like this into a little trampoline.
Right.
And he would throw it every time, would hit right in the middle and come back and he'd catch it.
Right.
And he does it from both sides. And he says, you got to keep doing this. It's forward as opposed to, I go like this, he'll throw it over there.
Right. So he's trying to keep the same plane that each golfer is trying to perfect day in and day out.
Every day, all day, they swing 100 times. Mm-hmm. What's the hardest thing for you about golf?
I would say the hardest thing for me initially was addressing the ball and that moment where you have to stop everything and now you have to get ready to swing. Mm-hmm. It's like at times it's easy, effortless. I can just do it, take away, no problem. Other times you get real tight sometimes and you want to step away and then you don't. And then now you hit a messed up shot just because mentally you weren't ready for it.
That's it. It doesn't matter if it's a tee shot, the second shot, the chip shot, putting, whatever. You either can or can't, but you start thinking about it, and then all of a sudden you're too close.
Right.
And then you get a little over it, then you get a little behind it. Oh,
you're second-guessing everything. And now you're worried about one thing, and with golf, if one thing is off, I mean, pretty much the whole thing is going to be off.
The whole thing's going to be off. And, what's interesting, if you don't play for a while, I mean, these pros, they play 8 days a week.
Right.
And they take the 9th day off, which means a couple of hours to sleep.
Right.
Those guys are out there hitting balls. I've played a little golf. I haven't played a lot in a while. I had some, my feet, my ankles, my eyes. But I'm good. I mean, I'm real good. I shoot par.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
I do shoot.
You shoot par, huh?
Yeah, I quit at the 13th hole.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I mean, I'm right par. And the guy says, my buddy tells me the other day, he says, what'd you get? I said, I got a 5. He goes, no, you didn't. I go, look, my doctor said I can only take a 5.
I love it.
But it's fun. I look at golf as I don't get paid to play golf.
Right.
Let's have fun.
Right.
Instead of, crying and throwing your clubs.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's really no need for it unless you unlike what you were saying, unless you have money on it or whatever the case is, you shouldn't be having a frustrated time about not being able to hit the ball perfect every single time. Nobody really can unless you're doing it consistently every single day, 100 balls a day, the whole entire right. It's just like anything. Practice makes perfect, right? Well,
it's just amazing that these guys are so good. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at guys like, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, and some of the guys just push them over there.
Right.
But that guy who's number 90 in the world, who you don't know who he is,
right?
He's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really good.
That's like I have buddies that always tell me, "Oh man, I could be a top tennis player in the world. That's no problem. I'm an athlete. Like I can do that. I can pick it up, no problem." Yeah, sure. You may think so, but go ahead and play the 110th ranked person from Lithuania or wherever the case is. They'll smoke you because they've been doing it their whole life.
Well, they don't even have to stretch to smoke you.
Right, exactly.
I mean, if you look at guys, we're switching from golf to tennis. A little bit different. I believe tennis players are the best athletes in the world because they're out there alone, and they might have to go 4 or 5 hours with no love. And like Boris Becker said many years ago, in the 5th set, it's not if I'm better than you, it's in here.
Sure.
It's all up here when Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson or Ricky Fowler are coming down and they got the lead, they're not going to barf.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. And that's what I'm excited to see. from watching it on TV. Some people like to say golf is really boring to watch. Man, I really just can't get into it. That's because you don't appreciate the type of shots that these guys are trying to hit or they are hitting. They're not just lining up, I'm going to hit it straight every single time. They have to contour the ball to their liking. What's the wind like? Do I have to come in this way because the slope on the green is going down the other way? It's all these factors that come into play that people don't understand, and I'm so excited to see it in person.
Well, you know, that's exactly right. If you look at a guy, you go back a few years, Bubba Watson, at the Masters, in a playoff, dumps it off to the right.
In the sticks behind a tree.
In the sticks.
What? Are you kidding me?
And he comes out. I think he was being left-handed was the difference because you could kind of turn it over. Who hits that shot?
Right, and he put it I don't know, 3 feet, whatever it was from the cup.
I mean, it's just amazing what that guy did with it. And then I forgot who he was playing, but the guy's like, "Are you serious? I had this tournament."
Well, even I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it was the same one with Louis Oosthuizen, who hit that albatross that's earlier that day to get him into contention there.
No, you're right.
Nobody knows what an albatross is. That's a 2 on a 5, right?
That's exactly right.
That is wild in it itself.
Yes, he knocked that thing in from I'm going with 280, 290.
Right, and I know it was downhill, but if you ever see that hole at the Masters, I think it's the first par 5 they see.
I think it's
of the
13.
Day.
I don't know, but it's
whatever it is. You have to let that thing roll into the cup from the front of the green all the way to the back.
Well, some of those guys, if you push it a little left, it's going in the water.
Right, or if you push it right, it's going in the sand.
All right, let's crazy. Let's do this. Let's do a little bit of history of golf and test your knowledge.
All right, let's try it.
Give me some stuff. What do you got? What do you got for me today?
Well, so we're talking Desert Classic, right?
Okay,
so we have our past winners. We were talking about Rahm that won last year. Hudson Swafford won it in 17. Jason Duffner, big name, won it in 16.
Duffner's here this week.
Love Duffner. Yep. Bill Haas in 15 and Patrick Reed in 2014. And then I know Bill Haas is also back here this weekend also.
Bill Haas won the FedEx Cup, $11 million. I'm going to go with 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 3. Right. $11 million. What would you do with $11 million?
You wouldn't want to know what I would do with $11 million. That'd be incredible stuff. And he got that playing golf, playing a sport.
I'll tell you what.
Awesome.
I mean, I'd buy Scott Alvarez whatever he wanted. I'd buy Scott Alvarez whatever he wanted.
I love it.
Let's. Did you know? I did some research. In the 1980s, the Bob Hope Desert Classic, there was not a repeat winner in 10 years.
Right.
That's usually hard to. There are repeat winners every other year.
Well, and like I just listed off these last 5, we haven't had repeat winners then either.
No.
So it's awesome to have not only repeat guys come back that have previously won, but also the field has a chance too.
All right, let's give me a couple of picks, and I'll give you a couple of picks.
Okay. Just right off of the top, I mean, you can't ever take John Rahm out if he was previous winner. You know, I'm looking for a back-to-back. Maybe it's possible.
That'd be kind of cool.
You never want to count out the guys that we talked about, Duffner and Haas. Phil can turn it on whenever. Phil Mickelson. Okay. Come on now. We know who Phil is. There's only one Phil. Come on.
There's only one.
Yep. And I mean, you know, it's Phil. It's funny watching Phil because I watch golf and I'll watch Phil a lot. He'll either show up like he's just having a good old time. Yep, I'm just here for my to get to the weekend and wave to the crowd and all that, or he's in it to win it, right? Yeah. So it depends on which one shows up.
Phil's won here before, right? I think Phil's won here before.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of looking at John Rahm, Duffner. Justin Rose is here.
I was about to say, we didn't even say the world number one, quote unquote world number one.
The world number one is here, so I wouldn't count him out. But also sometimes those guys get down here and they start, looking around because all the pretty girls and all the Bob Hope girls,
right,
and all the, all the excitement. I mean,
of course,
you got 4 courses and it changes the layout. Now we've had a lot of rain in the last few days, and in the old days, which still counts. These guys tear these courses up.
Right.
I mean, you shoot 71, you're thinking about killing yourself.
Right.
Okay?
Right. No, I'm with you.
65 is like, you got to shoot a couple 65s.
Is the rain going to have a factor on any of these golfers out here today?
I don't think so because it's just the ball's going to stick.
Right.
It's not going to run.
Right.
So if you're these guys are dart throwers. I mean, when I'm shooting for the green, I'm looking. Yeah,
I'm smelling some pin seekers. Yeah,
That's
no,
right,
for
that's
sure.
right.
Yeah, so
Well,
we're gonna have some low scores then.
There are going to be some low scores, and they are so targeted that when that ball hits on a green that's had a lot of rain, it leaves a hole and it stops. As opposed to some of the, bigger tournaments and stuff, the layout's different. It's harder. You hit it, it runs off. They have false fronts.
Right.
Ball goes off the back. So I think low scoring is going to be.
Right.
I don't know what I'm going to go with. Maybe 205, 206 might win it.
Now I don't know much about the courses that are going to be playing, but do you think it favors someone that hits longer off the tees or someone that is more calculated, like Zach Johnson? Or
calculated is exactly right, because out here you don't have the length. They try to pull these the tips back as far as you can to add length, but there's probably no golfer in this field that can't handle the length.
Right. Well, so I mean, we talk about that, and to the average golfer, they may think, well, shoot, why not just hit it as far as you can? Like, that's what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
I want to get as close as I possibly can. No, well, because although you may be able to hit on a 400-yard hole, you may be able to hit it 350, but I may not be so good with my wedge from 50 and in, or whatever the case is.
100%.
So I might hit 3 wood off the tee or an iron or whatever, and now I'm better with my 7, 8, 9, and now I'm in a better spot.
Well, these guys are target shooting. So in other words, some guys knowing if I hit my 3-iron 210, 220, and my next shot is 125, I know I can stick 125.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. They got the guys out there, they're caddies. They walk that course.
Oh yeah.
Before, days before.
Oh yeah.
The exciting thing is I've met some caddies out here that travel. They are on the tour, and it's so. Their notebooks are like, that's from 110, that's 109.
Right.
From that sprinkler, from that, and it's. We're playing to like keep it in the fairway and get it on the green.
Right, and they have to adjust not only shots that they may or may not hit on a given day, but also if a golfer completely misses on a tee shot, they got to figure out what that yardage is, because you're not allowed to use those GPSs or anything out there.
You can't use GPS?
Hey, I use mine from time to time.
Don't they have those things they used to have? You can like read with
the eagle eye thing, and it just shoots it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you still can't. You still got to hit it.
Yeah, right.
So
exactly.
I got the exact dimensions. Yeah, but you.
Yeah, nice.
You can't hit a 9-iron.
Right.
Give me one of your best shots in golf ever.
That I've ever hit.
Yeah, and you have first of all hole-in-one.
No hole-in-ones. Okay. No hole-in-ones. I was playing out in San Diego. This is when I first actually I always tried to play golf when I was younger, but I always fought it because I wasn't very good, and my dad always, keep your head down. Okay, yeah. Okay, that didn't work, Dad. What now? So I'd always fight it. But when I picked it up, I actually took a class in college on golf, right? So I figured out my swing, and I'm playing this course out in San Diego. It's a Mission Trails. It's just regular course. I had a shot that was 215. I had a 3 hybrid, and I plugged it from about, it was like 10 feet away-ish, but that was that was the shot that was like, okay, I'm going to keep playing golf.
Because it felt good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's funny. I always used to, you play it on the, the 16th, you're having trouble from 11 to 15, and you're thinking about killing yourself and throwing your clubs into the lake, and then all of a sudden you play 17 and you par it.
Oh, yeah.
And you're cool, and you hit the next shot and you're great, and you barely bogeying the 18 and you want to come back.
Right. Well, it's like I had new friends that just recently picked up golf last season, and I told them, man, you're going to want to hate golf for the first
15 years.
Yeah, right. Even still. But it's always that one shot that'll bring you back. You'll hit it and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I have that in me. So now I know I can do it again and again and hope it's consistent.
Golf is it's amazing because you watch the Masters every year and all the tournaments.
Sure.
And it's the same course. And it's still just really exciting to watch these guys. I love when they kind of when they duff one.
Right.
Or they don't hit it where it's like, I can do that.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. Right.
We all can do that. But I think that the most exciting part of golf, now I've never had a hole-in-one. I'm going with 12 inches. Okay. At the Oasis in Palm Desert, and I stuck it. But did I record a hole? No, I didn't. I didn't do the one. I did get a couple hole-in-ones in miniature golf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting. Mm-hmm. Miniature golf's still there. Favorite top 2 or 3 players?
I've bounced around a bunch.
So you're a front runner.
Actually, not really, because for the longest time I was huge because he's won I think he's won 2 tournaments this year already. I was a huge Matt Kuchar fan growing up.
Of course.
Originally, I love Spieth. I love all the young guys. Zach Johnson kind of fits my game-ish a little bit. Like, I want to hit the long ball as much as possible. It's just not in me for some reason, so I got to try to figure out how to adjust my golf game that way.
Well, you say that Zach Johnson's a perfect example because he's not hitting at 300 yards.
Right, exactly.
But he knows where to hit it, where his next shot's going to be. I can do the next shot.
Right.
It's like, what's the old saying? You drive for show and putt for dough.
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
And then putting, hey, you got to put the ball in.
Yeah, and that's guy that proves that point. Dustin Johnson, once he finds his putter, he is literally unstoppable. Guys like Brooks Koepka that can bring it all together, those guys that can hit the long ball and then make those huge, it's not those gimme putts, the 3 foots and ins, it's those 8, 9, 10 footers that really separate those guys.
That's exactly it.
Like Spieth going on his run when he won those majors, it was that putter that really brought him back from the dead tons of times.
I love Spieth. I love Thomas. Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka
That dude's got like pythons, like muscles like
unbelievable.
I do,
Yeah, unbelievable. That guy found the weight room after college. It's crazy. I've seen the picture of him from.
He was a skinny guy.
Yeah, Florida State, and now he's like this chiseled man. Like, that's incredible.
He looks. What did he win? He won back-to-back, right? I mean, he won U.S. Open and PGA, I think, he won Masters and U.S. Open. He won 2 in a row.
Yeah, sure.
I think it was 2 in a row. Brooks Koepka, and didn't win Player of the Year.
Didn't win Player of the Year. Yeah, unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Conrad Negron, Michael Carls, getting ready for the Desert Classic, or I'm going to call it the Bob Hope Desert Classic because he's not. I love that Bob Hope, funniest guy in the history of the world. Look at some of his comedy. All you young kids out there, look up Bob Hope. He can make you laugh without insulting anybody.
There you go.
Hey, everybody, stay back. Another Shield of Dreams production brought to you by Coachella Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority. We'll be right back. Here we are for the Sport Report. Joey Ryan's going to take us out. We're going to check out the Coachella Valley. Really excited, everybody. Stay tuned.
To do a weigh-in today, and that was embarrassing. But it's really exciting. Your new partner, Ivan, is coming along. You guys are branding this thing. Really appreciate you guys helping us out on Sport Report. All right. And all of our fans, take a look at joyride.com. It's really unbelievable. It's November. It's time.
Yes, it is.
There's the adventures you talked about, but also charters where people need to get to Vegas, need to get to L.A. You can make it in L.A. in about how long?
LA is 45 minutes. Yesterday we did 45 minutes from Thermal Airport, fully loaded, all the way to downtown San Diego. Also, we signed another contract for another year with NBC.
If Alex goes, it's a full boat, right?
We're here.
Michael, we're getting excited about our set here.
I
Conrad
like
Negron, Michael Carl's, another Shield of Dreams production brought to you by Coachella Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority. Stadium Authority Entertainment, fastest growing brand we talked about in the world, but in the Coachella Valley, we're building a stadium, Michael.
Oh, yeah. We are on our way.
We're on our way. Real quickly, in the Desert Classic, Ford Motor Company is donating a Senate XLT wagon to the Boys and Girls Club of Palm Springs. That's exciting. Those guys are, Boys and Girls Club does an amazing thing. You know, we talk about the SoCal Coyotes affecting more than 40,000 youth in this valley. Mm-hmm. It's exciting. The kids are going to be out. We saw some kids out there at the driving range yesterday afternoon with a couple golfers. You know, guys giving instruction, and you got to give back to the kids.
You just love to see it. You love to see it giving back to the community and getting people involved in not only a great sport like golf, but it's woven into the fabric of the Coachella Valley.
Exactly. I mean, we have the first tee is right up here, up the street off of Cook, and you guys can go over there, take your kids. We're going to be doing updates all week, Michael. You're going to be out there. I'll be out there.
Yes, sir.
Scott Alvarez will be out there. Alex will be out there. And, well, let's just kind of get off the subject a little bit. We'll talk about some sports because this is the Sport Report.
Love it. Let's talk sports, too. I got you so excited.
Okay, all right, this will get you excited. Alabama and Clemson. I picked Clemson.
Oh, yeah, so did I.
Okay, all right, we're on the same page.
Oh, yeah. Coach
Miller doesn't agree with us, but that's his problem. No, I mean, what a great game. I mean, it was Ty Lavoa threw an interception, misread to the house. Then they came back and they scored. Clemson scored again, 14-7, and I'm going 50 is going to be the winning score.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I definitely would have taken the over in that game for sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be something that was going to be back and forth. To me, watching Tua, it looked like he was pressing too much the entire game. Mm-hmm. Once that pick six happened, it was like he was always chasing something the entire time.
And he threw another one he misread.
Right, and it wasn't even really like a close ball or anything like that. He had 2 or 3 defenders on him, so now he's trying to make a play out of nothing. It's like quicksand. You get in it, it's too much. You keep fighting it, and now you're sunken yourself too far.
Well, I'll tell you what, that quarterback for Clemson.
It's so funny. We talk. He's a true freshman. Trevor Lawrence, true freshman, comes in calm, cool, and collected. Goes against arguably one of the toughest defenses you can face in college football.
He sliced him
and goes 20 completions, 300+ yards, had 4 or 5 touchdowns, whatever.
But he's running like he's like Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott. Did I say Ezekiel Elliott?
Ezekiel Elliott. He just like gliding out there like it's crazy to see because as a 19-year-old kid, he looked so poised and he looked so ready for that moment. That
he was Byron. That he threw that one touchdown that the guy dove and made. I mean, the receiver made an amazing catch,
right?
But it was an amazing throw. Otherwise, it gets picked off,
right? And I always talk about types of quarterbacks, right? You have thermostat quarterbacks and thermometer quarterbacks, right? Thermostat quarterbacks always come in and they're acclimated to their surroundings. Mm-hmm. Thermometer quarterbacks come in and elevate the heat, and they make everything else rise. So they make all the players around him play even better. Uh-huh. So when you got guys making plays like that, now you can trust other guys are going to want to make plays too.
I think that's exactly what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson was unbelievable. And then, at the end, Coach Sweeney, what an unbelievable guy and, humble guy.
Yeah, great man of faith.
Great man of faith and, giving all the, again, building better men and better fathers. Right. And then, following in the way of God and what he says is his, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, which we all work with the Coyotes, as Michael Carls is the quarterback for the SoCal sure. Coyotes. If none of our listeners out there who are tuning in know anything about football, in college, you're allowed to transfer, aren't you?
It's so funny,
right?
Yes.
I don't have to keep going there, right?
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it work?
You can transfer schools. The rules have changed. I mean,
I don't know all their names. You do, and I know you and Scott talk about it. There's a lot of big stars that are moving colleges, right?
Right. Yes. So, you can even go back all the way, date back. Let's go. Troy Aikman out in Oklahoma transfers to UCLA. So back then, the official rule was you could transfer, sure, but you had to get acceptance from the school you were at previously.
Take a year off, right?
Well, right. So you'd previously have to get acceptance from the school, and then you would have to automatically, regardless, sit out an entire year, no matter what, right? So you're pretty much burning 1 year of eligibility. You get 5 once your clock starts in the NCAA. So now it's been bending and changing to based on how much you've played and did you redshirt, what's the discretion of the school. So the rules have changed to where guys can almost come in immediately and play the very next season.
They can.
Right.
Oh, okay. See, I've been learning this because in the old days, yes, I'm not, you got to move, you got to wait.
Right.
And then there's a lot of guys like going, well, heck, I'm going to be a junior eligibility-wise.
Right.
What if I get hurt?
Well, so I'll give you an example of the national champs this year. They had a quarterback that originally started. Kelly Bryant was their starter for the first 3 games of the season. Now, one of the rules is you can play in those 3 games, but once you play that 4th, you've lost that year of eligibility.
Oh.
So Clemson as a team basically came to the young man and said, hey, listen, we're going to go with this true freshman that we have. We believe that he is best fit for our team. If you'd like to transfer and keep your eligibility, you can. And that's what the young man did. And so now he's eligible to now play next season.
Oh, okay. All right. Conrad Negron, Michael Carl's talking sports. Let's talk a little bit about, Clemson kind of changed the tide, if that's a good word.
I see what you did there.
We kind of changed the tide a little bit. Boy, they got a great team next year.
No, I mean, it's once you have a system in place and you have your program and you have belief from the top down in the guy that's calling the shots in Dabo Swinney. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a bad thing come out of South Carolina from anyone that's been around Dabo Swinney.
Yeah. And again, he's had his ups and downs. I mean, you just don't, like he said, you just don't wake up and win the national championship.
Right, absolutely.
We've all gone through struggles. We can't quit and we can't have a bad attitude. You just keep growing with every loss or every setback.
Absolutely.
So your picks for next year, Clemson on top to start the year, probably.
I mean, you'd have to, especially with a true freshman quarterback coming back that just basically told you
tore the place apart.
You can put the game in my hands and I'll take care of it for you.
Well, he did. I'm going to pick Dallas Cowboys. Oh, they're not.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
All right, I got the Penn State. We still got some Penn State in the room. I didn't know they were in the league.
Yeah, right.
We're late in the NFL. Okay, Patriots crushed the Chargers.
Yep.
Rams and Cowboys. Rams look pretty good.
Yep.
The Saints got a little beat up early, but Drew Brees, I'm scared of him.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm scared of him.
Absolutely.
I'm rooting for the Rams because I'm a Ram. What's your take on the Kansas City Patriot game?
Well, so
I heard it's going to be -5 degrees.
Oh, yeah. So there's like an Arctic blast that's supposed to hit right at that time, right? It's supposed to be anywhere from 10 degrees to below whatever it is. I don't really think that's going to be an issue either way. The worst thing about playing football for me as a quarterback is wind. So if there's not much wind, I can handle the cold. Yep. Even rain is not even that bad.
So do you inflate the ball or deflate it?
It's it's
horrible.
Right. It's discretion. It's discretion to the quarterback. I was always more inflated, but I mean, guys like Tom and Aaron. I don't know what they.
We don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so we got the Rams and the Saints in a controlled environment, obviously, in a thermostat environment.
Right.
Again, I'm rooting for the Rams. The Saints beat the Rams for their first loss this year. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Right. Well, it really all depends on the type of style these coaches want to play. Really, when it comes down to it, quarterback is where it's at. And I think right now we have the top 2 veteran quarterbacks in the league, and we have arguably the top 2 up-and-coming quarterbacks in the league going up against and seeing what they have to do as a team to win these championship type games. And that's what it comes down to. Being able to run the ball, sure. Being able to play good defense, sure. You can make all those arguments. I think that's a little prehistoric to me. But when it comes down to it, on 3rd and 8, when it's 1:30 left in the game, and you need a first down to keep your season alive, you got to be able to trust the guy that's calling the shots.
Cough and Breeze. That Breeze, man, he's one of the best. But I'll tell you this: when they brought in Anderson at running back to help Gurley was a little beat up there at the end. That guy's ran for like 200 and something the other game. That guy's a beast.
Oh, yeah. A fresh veteran presence that knows how to play in that zone type scheme run that he used to back when he was in Denver and coming over from Carolina. I mean, being able to have 2 running backs that you can go to, that's why the Saints are scary to me. That's why the Patriots are still scary to me. Having those guys out of the backfield that can catch and make plays and turn those 3-yard passes into 15 or even just 8-yard catches, that's huge.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, we're getting down to anybody watching, we're talking about football. I mean, we don't have to guide anybody on education. Patrick Mahomes is one heck of a player.
Unbelievable player, and it's so awesome. I love seeing his game because his game throws everything that a scout tells you right back in his face. I don't want to see him throwing off balance. I don't want to see him with those under throws. I don't want to see him looking where he's not throwing. I don't want to see any of that. Well, what's he doing? He's changing the game. He's the league MVP. Like, what else do you want the guy to do? Why? Tell me this. Why would you just chain up a hungry dog that wants to eat? Makes no sense to me. Let him run. Let him go be a dog. Let him go do what he does.
Let me tell you something. He's a good baseball player, Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely.
We don't have to talk about Murray from the Heisman Trophy winner. He's a heck of a baseball player. But Mahomes, I saw him make a throw the other day, like you said, the sidewinder. That's a second baseman completing a double play.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the
fire in it.
It's the footwork, it's the arm angles like that, and I think that's something that he, to be honest, like I mean, I don't know the man personally, but being around baseball and being around those types of guys, like when he was in New York with his father, when he was with the Yankees, seeing Derek Jeter make all those different types of throws. You tinker with that as like a young kid, like trying to figure out, oh, can I do that with a football? And I think that's actually helping him a lot.
I agree 1,000,000% because you get your Tom Brady's, Peyton Manning's, the guys that just drop back, and again, they're not fast guys, they're big guys. They're stand-up quarterbacks. Boy, it's changed when you look at Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes now. Man, I love Mahomes.
Well, so like the misconception is you get to stand back and throw the ball on a perfect platform every single time. No, honestly, all of these guys throw from different angles all the time. You just can't really tell because it's so congested. That's what Patrick Mahomes does so well, is he's able to throw from a perfect platform without being on a perfect platform, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, it does, because if you look at these athletes today, and they're different, younger generation is seeing that. They understand, as an example, playing, I don't know if you play video games at all, but the guys that play Madden, they can read off a zone, a 3-2, and a coverage and this. They already know that, and they've never played football before.
Right. Well, and even still, even if they don't know how to beat it, they conceptually can see it, and then they see on the video game guys running open. So, like, it's kind of funny to think, but it is almost like a simulation, if I may.
No, I think so. I mean, a simulation is a good way of looking at it because those guys look like they're real.
Right, yeah, right. It's scary to watch in those games. It's like you're almost watching a real game.
When are they going to get the Michael Carl's avatar or whatever?
That'd be crazy.
We got to get that going.
Unbelievable.
With the SoCal Coyotes. Hey, everybody. Conrad Negron, Michael Carl's. Everybody get out to the golf tournament this weekend. Mike will be out there. Look us up. We've got our little press passes. The Coachella Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority creating unbelievable sports tourism. If this isn't sports tourism and action in the Valley, I don't know what it is.
Absolutely.
It's been going on here since the 60s. Thank Bob Hope for – and I challenge everybody, go to Wikipedia and look up Bob Hope and find out how an unbelievable man in the history of this country change this country.
Right.
In comedy, in helping the troops, and just being an all-around great man to our community. And we're blessed to have had him here. You know, Bob Hope Drive to Gerald Ford to Frank Sinatra. I mean, you know, go down. I talked to a friend on the East Coast. I was telling him, well, you take Bob Hope and you turn on Dinah Shore, and then you go back to Gerald Ford. He goes, what the heck's going on out there?
Yeah, right. Because back east, right? They have. Well, don't you have First Street, Second, Third, 15th, and Avenue?
Main Street.
Yep, There's always a Main Street.
Yep. Main Street. Hey, everybody! Thanks for tuning in. Conrad Negron from Michael Carl's Another Shield of Dreams production, brought to you by Coachella Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority. Stay tuned. We got a lot of great stuff happening in the new year. Michael, have a great day.
Thank you.